Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this talk. First, I want to apologize. We had a small technical difficulty and we missed the first 30 seconds of the work by Ella Rothschild. I'm happy to introduce our moderator, Jody Nimrichter, the executive director of the American Dance Festival in North Carolina. Jody will lead the talk with our artist in residence here at the Suzanne Dalal Center, Ella Rothschild and Oli Portal. At the end of the talk, we will open for questions. You can feel free to ask questions in the chat in Zoom. Please enjoy. Hi, Jody.
Hello, Noemi. How are you? And thank you so much for including me in this wonderful conversation. I see many friends that have joined this moment, so I want to say a great big hello to everyone. Many of them I have met actually in Israel at the exposure festivals in the past. So greetings to you. It is wonderful to get a chance to talk about these two works. I will say that I've had the privilege of not only seeing the beautiful 15-minute excerpts, I got to see the full length of both pieces. So I have a little bit more context than maybe some of you. So I will try to speak mostly to what you've seen, but I do have some broader questions and I think we don't have much time. So Ella, maybe if we can start directly talking about your piece.
Sure.
For me, I just say it's incredibly expressive, masterful dance theater work. What would be helpful, I think, for people who might not know, if you could pronounce the name correctly so I don't misdo that, but also give a little definition, or what does the title mean?
So the work calls Pigulim, and Pigulim comes from the word Pigul. It comes from the Jewish tradition, and it's describing a moment when the Kohen, which is kind of a priest, is doing a sacrifice, and during the sacrifice he has a forbidden thought. So the sacrifice is no longer is unworthy. The meat is rotten and it's not for eating. And I thought that like the fact that a thought can change reality was connected to the work that I'm doing. Yeah, so this is the explanation about the name.
Thank you for that. It's very helpful. I'm also curious, you have three very powerful, distinctive female characters that really carry the story. Mm-hmm. I'm curious if they have any reference to anything in literature that we think we may have seen, or are these all brand new characters? And talk a little about who they represent, if they are your own inventions.
So all the characters in the creation, I wanted them to reflect great loneliness, that unbearable loneliness, and it's not taken by any known story, but we have inner stories that fed up what happened in the studios. We invent for them where they're coming from, what's the background, what is the incident that made them come together in this space that we worked in the studios. And we invented that they had this dream, each one had a dream and that they couldn't follow. And this kind of scenario left a void inside each character, and the other women kind of entered and filled that void. And we built, so, there was the initial idea of this, how do you say, people that are trapped in their own reality. But then it met those girls, it met those women in the studio, those dancers, Ariel Friedman, Karen Luria Pardes, and Adiz Latin. And together with them, I understood what kind of personality they will be.
And I'm curious that two of them in particular have more of an expression on their mouths with one another often. Mm-hmm. And then the beautiful dancer in the bluish green dress, solid color, mm-hmm. She takes multiple moments throughout this 15 minutes and in the piece that she's reading from a red book. Mm-hmm. And also I sense, or I feel like I really see her, she keeps looking up at something. Can you talk a little bit about what's the significance of the book, the red book? And is there a connection to something higher?
So each character, not only that specific character, has they are going from where they are in real life to their fantasy world, to their memories. And the book, for the specific character, this is where she builds her world. This is where she escapes to, when she doesn't want to be witnessing what happens. And it's her prison, but it's also her release. And particularly, this character is a dreamy character. It's this, she's constantly wandering around with her mind. But also the other girls, it's very distinct. Like, they also have the going away from their spot, from their being, and coming back to it. So I think a book, it can be another, wishful thinking for another reality, for another being, for something to hold on to.
Okay. And the looking up, is that in my own sensing, or is there something significant in terms of the direction of you having her look up?
In the video that was presented now, that you saw the end, like the end position of it, like the end of the frame was looking up. And in this specific moment, she's coming from, she's bringing us into her fantasy. So from a dining table, she, makes it a vitrine. And we see all the special kind of things that she collected maybe over the years. Mm-hmm. So I think, again, it's we try to explore the behavior of each character. So for her, it was the wandering of the eyes, the looking up in order to find a specific idea. When an idea pops up in your head and you're just like looking up, or when you're just drifting. So
thank you for that. I saw it happen multiple times, so I was very curious about it. And you take us on this amazing journey with the 3 characters, and then you introduce us to a whole cast of beautiful dancers that come in to do the scene at the table. Can you just talk a little bit about bringing that large group of dancers into the fold of the piece? Mm-hmm. And it was a little bit like, sometimes when I watched a Western, there was moments at that table that everything slowed down. Yeah. It was like very, very crafted.
So when the whole group enters, it's halfway through the piece. It comes after a long monologue of one of the characters. And when they are entering, we are kind of, again, the boundary between reality, what is real and what is not, becomes even more loose. And we see scatters of memories or desires of those 3 characters. And in a way, those dancers, those beautiful dancers, they're amplifying their feelings, the feelings of these 3 characters, or the voices, the multiple voices that are in their heads. And the slowing down part, I feel sometimes that you can how do you say, you can catch things when you slow down. Things can kind of be spread, just in front of your eyes, and the static moments, you can suddenly see more movement in them. I don't have to do a full kind of combination in order to kind of express something. It's like a painting. When you see a painting, you see movement inside the painting. It's not flat, or it's not frozen, really.
It very much accentuates what you're trying to convey. It's very powerful.
Thank you.
Ella, I think I want to ask Orly a few questions so that they leave plenty of time for the audience. And
Sure.
Orly, if you don't mind, I think I might ask you to do the same thing, is to pronounce the name of your piece so we have it correctly, and to share what it means.
The name is Fakaruni. It's Arabic name. It's the name of the songs of Kulthum, Fakaruni, and it means they remind me. They remind me our love. That's it.
So this piece, I understand, is the first time that you've worked with male dancers.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious how you selected these three mature, beautiful movers that really held, I think, not only the dancing, but the music.
Yeah. They are really amazing. It took time to choose them. I make a long process before I start to work, like few months, to look for dancers, and I did audition, and a lot of young, beautiful, amazing dancers come to the audition, and I felt it's not what I need. I need mature dancers, and I need experience. I need I need them to be a little bit tired from dancing, like to be persons that dance, not a dancer. And they came, they brought each other. Arthur brought Anderson, Anderson brought Erez, and it was like a group of friends, very, very close with the heart, and it was really good for the work.
And can you talk a little bit about the process then of working with them to craft this piece?
I came without any experience. Like I used to work with women years. I'm making works with women, and I know what I'm doing there. I have it clear in my body. I have it clear in my pelvis and arms. And when I came to this work, I came like empty, without experience. Like I knew that I should do it. It's the time, and I need to go into this space. And we start from meeting each other with my work. Like I'm doing before the rehearsal, we did the work that I developed on my body, and I did it with them each rehearsal. And it's like just to go down to the floor, to bring the weight down, and to breathe to the lower stomach, and to sense the weight of our body together, and to find the intimate way of connecting each other, like through the breathing and the weight. And it was an amazing process. It goes more and more deep and deep, and they really ask for it every time we meet. So we found like a very close place together in the body, through the body.
Can you talk a little bit too about specific kinds of movement? You talk about the pelvis having a significant meaning. So I'd love to hear about that. But also there is a abundance of use of arms, very expressive arms. And did that evolve, or did you go into the process knowing that that's what you wanted to highlight?
No, I didn't know anything. We start from finding the energy in the pelvis. We start from moving and creating this, the shape of the ball in the pelvis. And we moved, and we breathed. And then from there, the energy like goes out to the arms. It was like the channel of the energy of the center. It's like the periphery of the movement, but the beginning starts from the pelvis. So this was the expression of the dance of this, and I think the song also affect my my movement. Like this was from listening to her voice, and they did a lot of improvisation also in the process. So that's what comes out from the body, and yeah.
So Orly, what's wonderful is that the audience gets to see you today in this excerpt at the very end come in to sing. but in the full piece, you are in the program for a significant amount of time,
Yeah.
and you have a beautiful voice. So it's incredible. I'm curious if you can talk a little bit about the relationship, if there is one, amongst the men, but then what happens when you're introduced and what is your relationship to them and each other?
The relationship between the man and what's happening when I'm coming in. Yeah.
Yes, thanks.
I try to create the energy to come in through them. Like I create a relationship of three men with ego, like alpha men, that are coming into the space, are putting the weight of the body, and they are like fighting for the center, but they are really hugging each other, like they are friends, but they are um, respecting the power they have. So I create the energy to come in, and it was really nice to be out and to see them dancing. I was like in ecstasy all the time, and it was not necessary for me to come in. I wanted to stay out of it because I felt like satisfied, satisfac-
Mhm.
satisfaction
Satisfied?
from this,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't need it. But the story was with me, so I came in, and it was like I was like doing it slowly. I said, "Listen, I don't know if I have anything to add to this space," and they really helped me to come in. And then it was necessary because the work is about the relationship between men and to create a strong and clear energy of man, and to let the energy of the woman to come in and to be clear and strong and to be parallel to this energy, like two strong energy together on space. No one have to be more like we are can be together. So that was my place in the work, and the using of the voice was the like it's brought me in. Even when they are dance, I used to sing all the time out, like I could not stop. And Kulthum, for me, she is like agada, uh, legend, and I grew up on her voice since I was a little girl. My mother used to hear her all the time, and it was like my soundtrack in my home. And when I grew up, I came back to hear again her songs, and I felt like this is this is m- this is the songs I should hear. That's it, nothing else. I don't need anything else. It's enough for me to hear Kulthum, and I learned a lot of her songs because it was like home for me. And I was ready, and I did this work, and the voice of her brought me in, and nobody can compete her voice. She is the queen, and and I was like afraid uh, to do it, what who I am. But it's not about singing like her. It's to connect her through the song, through the words, through the voice of me and her together. Like it's meeting. It's not about trying to sing like her because nobody can sing like her. She is the voice of nation. She's yeah.
Well, that being said, you did a beautiful job.
Thank
So
you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Nonetheless, actually thought I really appreciated the fact too that it started and it kept going all the way through, and that you would hear the applause and nothing would end, but the piece kept moving and growing. So that was really fantastic. I think it would be great to ask maybe both of you conversations. It's like it's such a beautiful thing that the Susan Delau Center uh, had you both in residence to create these pieces. And I think artists so value residencies, but maybe if you could just talk a little bit about being part of that program and the process. We'd love to hear about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I will be happy to say this. It saved me, this residency, in this period, Corona time. It was like I felt I have a home to come back, and I felt I was relaxed about the process. I knew that I have a place to come back, and I have the home to create my creation, and for me it's a big איך אומרים? Privilege to do it here, and I felt a lot of support, even from the walls, from the building, from the people, from Nomi, from Anat, from Sarah, from all the people that are holding the energy of this place. Really, it was the best process that I have ever had, creating here in Suzanne Dalal. It's true.
That's a high compliment. Can I just contextualize a little bit? How long did you have, and when did the residency? When was it?
It started for me. It started in January till August. Yeah, till the end of August. Yeah, and the premiere was in September, the beginning of September. Yeah, it was half year, and I have 2 months between, like the Corona time that I couldn't come to the studio. And I was like cooking myself in in home, and I came, and it was like boom, like a bomb.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Orly. And Ella, how about for you?
Well, I can join all the things that Orly said. It was a very hugging moment from the institution of Suzanne Dalal and the people that are here facilitating it. And we all just want time and to let things sink. And basically, it brought me what Orly said really beautifully. It brought time and the possibility to think and to go deeper in your work. And it was also interesting for me because it was divided. I worked in the center, and then I traveled still working on the piece in different places. I had another residency in Baryshnikov Art Center, and I worked with a dance company of the theater in Lucerne and in Vancouver, and then eventually again it arrived here to Suzanne Dalal, and it just feels like a nice kind of circle, and the closure of it, that it was in Tel Aviv festival. So yeah, I'm really grateful, and like Orly said, I feel privileged to have that opportunity. So I thank you all.
Well, I thank you all. I would love to be there in person. I just have one question that I know we all can't wait to get back together to see live performance. But in this process, I think you not only have created beautiful stage works, but you've created 2 beautiful filmatic dance works. And I'm just curious if you've learned something in having to capture this on film that is new to you, but the direction of how you captured it was very exciting. And as the world is exploring that, it's just fascinating to have another lens into the direction of that. And if you just either or both of you want to just comment on that.
I can say that it went inside the process in one point, because when you are thinking about how to film a work, you're deciding a lot of times what is not entering to your frame. So suddenly questions like point of view, from who is the person that we are watching this scenario, and through what eyes we're telling the story. So for me, it made me, in certain moments, much more focused, and it challenged me, and I was happy for the challenge. I learned from it a lot, and let's see what's next. What will be the next step.
I enjoyed it very much on film. I can't wait to see it in person.
Laura,
Or Orly, do you have anything you want to share about that process?
Yeah, for me it was also challenging, but I didn't make the work for filming. I make it for stage and even for outside. I wanted to be outside, not in the theater. And I created for this. So when I came to but I prepare myself inside to this situation. When I came to the filming, to the process, to bring the work to the cameras, I released my control. I said, okay, this is not only my work now. We are doing something together. My work and the filmer and all the people around, like we're creating now, and it was really strong to be in this place, to release the control. It's not only mine. So
beautiful.
I learn a lot, and I want to do it more. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's great. It opens up a whole new world. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to talk to you both. And I think now the best thing to do is, Naomi, to
Yes.
hand it back to you and open it up for people to ask questions.
so thank you very much, Jody. Can we go forward to the Q&A? We have some questions here. So first question is to Ella. We spoke already with Orly about using the music of her piece. Could you speak, how did you work with the music? What was the process using the music with your stuff?
So I'm working with a musician. His name is Gershon Weisseltier. And he was actually supposed to be integrated inside the work when it was on stage. He was supposed to be one of the characters in the show. He was supposed to live, playing it live. And during this whole process of this whole 1 year, and then the pandemic, and then so on, it became that our work, he wasn't a character in the show, but he composed the music for it. And it was a long process of finding what is the world of this creation, and it's already the third creation that I'm collaborating with Gershon. So we have this long relationship of how we approach dance or how we approach work, when he's outside, when he's inside. So that's what I have to share about it.
So we have another question. This time it's to Orly. Can you talk about sensuality, romance, and love, and what role it plays in the work? And it's true that there is a lot of sensuality that we see during the 1 hour piece. Can you a bit describe what was for you when you enter after half an hour as a woman? After you watched, you created those 3 boys role, and then you entered. Can you a bit describe this?
Yeah.
thing?
It's a little bit like a dream for me to go into this energy, this sensuality that I create, to go in and to dance. It's a support to my body. But for me, the energy, it's חיונית, essential energy. The sensual energy is like vitali, like it's the energy of the life. It's not about sex, and yeah, sometimes we can make love with this energy, but it's like this is what moves me. This is the energy that moves me to take the arms up. So this is the energy about love and relationship and romantic. Okay?
Yes.
I think the romantica is dying. I think there is no romantica, and I don't believe in romantica, but I believe in connection, to connect the energy to create something together. I don't know if I believe in relationship also. So this is the work that I am celebrating my belief. Everything is open.
So we like that everything is open. Shall we go for the third question? So this time it's for Ella. You said, the question is like this. You said you worked on the piece in different places. Will these different versions all be shown together at some point? And how did working on it with different companies and dancers change the one you did at the Suzanne Dalal? Because you were working with different companies. Were there some, I can understand the question, were there some different changes in the choreography, in the narrative, while you were working with different companies from Europe, from the States, Israeli dancers? What was the difference?
So every place that I worked with is opened for me a new door. I worked with the same themes and maybe in some parts with the same structure. I started from the same structure, but you work with different people and different scenarios and even the country that you're in. And everything influenced the work. Everything is entering inside. So when I was resident in the States, whatever happened in the street entered to the studio. And for example, there I was only with one of the dancers. So it was only 3 weeks that it was me and one dancer. And the piece had a different version that actually went to stage in the Lucerne Theater with the dance company there. And again, it has similar features, but it's a different work. But still, when I looked at it and I could be moved, it moved the same points in my body, even though the scenario on stage was different. And it didn't follow 3 characters. It was 14 characters. And again, I think that the people I meet, the people I work with, they're a channel for me to kind of get to know myself, but also get to know other people's fears or how they see the themes that we are talking about. And it's very exciting to see how ideas rolls from one place to another. Like you start something in Vancouver and in the end it arrives somehow to Tel Aviv in a certain form, not exactly what we started with. And for me, it's the same process, but it's not the same kind of. In the end, it's not the same people that are doing it, so it has to be different. I don't know if I answered the question. I hope I did.
Well, I think you answered very well the question. Let's continue for another question again for Ella. How did you generate movement, especially in the face? Why this strong expression in the face, and how did you decide on it? And actually, I would like to go on also to Orly and ask her about facial expression. Do you use facial expression, or it's only in the body? And can you also relate to it? So, Ella first, maybe. And then
so we wanted to find again very defined characters, and we actually worked with text. Like there is a text in the show, in the full length of the show, and I wanted them to be first people that actually feel the wish for attention, the loneliness, the pain, and we wanted to go further with the search, and our face is a part of our body. I don't see it as a separate thing. So for me, when I'm dancing, but also when I'm creating, it's the same as I'm moving my arm or my legs. It's not like a different part of my body that now I'm operating. So I didn't feel it's something special in that sense. I guess
I guess you were very good.
That's
and Orly, can you speak about using face or not using face, just to continue the question we were asked
Yeah.
to?
The face is expressing the feeling in the body. Like it's not, it's connects to the sense of the body. It's not something separate. And I don't ask the dancer to express something. I ask them to sense the body, to sense the music, and to let the music comes in through the body. Then it's like they express it. Sometimes they're like happy, sometimes they're suffering, sometimes they feel passion, sometimes even they are angry, sometimes but it's there, it's coming from the body.
And last question is for Orly. Can you talk about your movement background and experience in dance forms, not traditionally from the world of modern or contemporary dance?
Yeah, I used to dance ballet and contemporary and modern dance. I used to dance even here in Ensemble Batsheva, the last company that I danced with. I came from a discipline, a ballet and modern discipline. I love this discipline, and I developed to find my own way. It starts with the improvisation and contact improvisation, and a lot of years I go out from Israel to find people to improvise with them. And then I understood that I need to go back to my roots. This is the place that I have to connect. And I go back to the roots of my parents in Morocco. And I research my roots and the music, the Gnawa music and the Berber. And this was the places that I inspired by them. And I developed a way of combining the knowledge from the Ma'arav, from the West, to the knowledge from the Mizrach, East. So East and West together in one body. I don't try to connect them, but I express them in my body. They cannot be one, but they can be in one body.
So I would like now to thank Jody for joining us from so far away and speaking with this lovely artist. Thank you very much, Jody.
Thank you so much. And I can't wait to see you guys in person again and to experience the works on a live stage. So thank you for the artists and Noemi, Susan Dalal, and everybody that joined us today. Grateful to see so many beautiful faces.
Thank you, and please join us tomorrow. Let's meet all tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.